Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Padel Pulse podcast powered by TSH Padel. The historic Valladolid tournament is finally over. It was so much fun, but more importantly, just the history that this tournament has. It's lovely, lovely week for Padel. And champions emerged, but none other, none bigger, Ismaeel, than the one and only King Arturo Coello alongside Agustin Tapia, winning at home, taking home their fifth Premier Padel title of the season. Your thoughts on these amazing human beings?
They're awesome. They're the most dominant pair this year. They've been for the past couple of years. They're amazing. And really happy, obviously, for Arturo to win it in front of his home crowd in his home city. That's really emotional, and I love to see that.
Pressure.
And there was a lot of pressure, and Tapia talked about how it was very important for him to help Coello lift the title this week, and they did. For me, the turning point, the story of the matches, 5-3, Stupa and Lebron are serving for the first set. I'm like, okay, we have ourselves a match. Maybe Stupa and Lebron are finally going to get their breakthrough title here together against Coello Tapia. And then in the changeover, the coach is talking to Tapia. Tapia, do something different. The commentator's talking about, he's telling Tapia to try something different, try the Chiquitas. And I was telling you off air, right? Like, I feel like Tapia needs to be woken up sometimes. And they woke up Tapia, and then it was a different match the rest of the way. Like Tapia he went into the more aggressive mode. He became more consistent. He found that magic with the angles and the Chiquitas. And it was over. They won that set 7-5. Stupa Lebron, they gave it away. They have something when it comes to serving for the match, but we'll get into them in a second here later. But Tapia and Coello, they're the more clutch team. They show up in the big moments, and they complement each other really well. Their firepower helped them a lot today because the conditions suited them. And every lob that went up, it was night-night. I can't say the same for Stupa and Lebron. Yeah. And for me, I mean, I don't want to bash Stupa or Lebron here. They both are equally here in the loss. But I want Stupa to hunt more. You can see Tapia and Coello are both more aggressive. They're looking to end points quicker. And I think for me, that was a separation, what separated them today.
Yeah, a quick point though, just before Haroon, before I get to you, at that 5-3, there was 5-3, 30 love, correct? And it comes down to the smallest mistakes because Lebron decided to smash on Coello's side. So from the right side to smash on Coello's side instead of going straight, either straight back to him or straight por tres on Tapia's side, and then Coello, being the gigantic human being he is, up, boom, back, point over, 30-15, Haroon. Did that change everything? What did you think?
Yeah, I don't know if that was change everything. To me, what changed everything is that they kind of unraveled after that first set, especially after they were up 5-3 and they were serving for it. So I was disappointed. I don't think so much, I want to talk about the brilliance of Coello and Tapia, like every time we talk about when they win a title, wow, they're so brilliant, they're so amazing. To me, I felt more that Stupa and Lebron let this match, let this match slip out of their hands. And it was very doable for them to win it. And I'm disappointed in them because they really had it. They had the game. They've been playing really well. Especially they kind of formed into some magical team after they beat Chingalan. So I thought, wow, they have a lot of confidence and they figured out some recipe here. And it looks like they could have figured it out in the beginning as well against Coello and Tapia, but then they let it go. And I'm upset. I don't want to talk about how, of course, Coello Tapia are great and they deserve their props. Congratulations for being now the third best couple of all time. Have 34 titles, beating Lima and Bella, and then Juan, Martin Diaz and Bella as well. So that's a great achievement for them, surpassing Lebrón and Galan. And they're a great team, but I think it's more about how Lebron and Stupa kind of let this away rather than they were brilliant and they won it. And because they kind of unraveled, they lost some chemistry. They were disorganized, especially in that second set.
Haroon, they were. That's true. I like this point about disorganized. How many balls did we see go down the middle and they're looking at each other or staring at each other or not? They're not covering each other enough. I don't know if it's miscommunication or is it lack of proactivity. I didn't like that at all, especially in the beginning of the second set. You need to show more energy.
I told you, Haroon. Okay, go ahead.
No. I felt like, I don't know. To me, what makes or breaks this team is LeBron, and LeBron has to be the alpha, has to be poised, has to be stoic and controlled and disciplined. And I feel like when he's not that, they lose and they become disorganized and they get frustrated. And Stupa makes more and more mistakes. And then of course, Coello Tapia are going to eat that up alive, like it's a nice little beef jerky snack that they're going to eat up. So that's a recipe for disaster for them. And you can't do that against these great players like Coello Tapia.
I also like that point. I felt LeBron was undisciplined today.
Yeah,
he's undisciplined. Like there are times where he's going for like shots that are very high risk. Of course, he's superhuman. I know that, and he's arguably the best player ever on the right side. But like some shots, like even that match point, like just going for the super high lob, unforced error on a return, it's over. Like, or some super high lobs, many errors, going for unnecessary side glass sometimes, or like wild Chiquito or Bajada angles. Like, play discipline. Stupa is very disciplined, and he makes some errors in important moments, but he's not making undisciplined errors. Like it's more like pressure moment errors. LeBron makes undisciplined errors. Like they were going down love 30 in almost every service game in that second set.
Yeah.
You're chasing Coello Tapia a set and the breaks and love. Like come on.
True.
Come on. You need to give yourself room to breathe.
Yeah.
Coello Tapia are suffocating them. They can't breathe. After they stole that first set, I felt like Stupa Lebron, they couldn't breathe.
Yeah, true. Yeah. To build on that point, I always get upset from LeBron. You know, LeBron is great and he doesn't get the spotlight for making the big mistake on match point or break point or anything like that. So Stupa gets all the blame for that. But LeBron makes a lot of unforced errors let them go love 15, love 30, whatever.
Love 30. They just don't we don't give them the same weight because they're earlier. They shouldn't get the same weight because they are early, but they happen frequently.
Yeah.
Today, I think that cost him. I think he also has to protect Stupa's confidence, like you don't want Stupa playing in all these pressure points. Like give him room to breathe too.
Well, okay, so many points that I want to get to here. First off, where I think this match changed, and at 5-3 when they were serving 30 all, and then there's a back and forth of volley to volley going between all four players, and then boom, Tapia and Coello pop up an easy one. Stupa gets an easy forehand volley, obviously slice into the corner, and Arturo Coello runs all the way back and then somehow finds a way to dig that, I think from underneath the ground. He dug it out and then straight, it was just over the net onto LeBron's side, hit the tape, went over LeBron. LeBron couldn't go back and get it. 30-40, break point, broken. Four consecutive games for them to win 7-5. And I believe that is when they were broken. And the second set, the disorganization that you guys are talking about is because I feel that was lingering. That game there, like the fact that you get so few chances against these guys, and when you don't take that one chance, like when Tapia's still not awake and Coello's doing everything he can to hold the fort, like we always talk about, and you do not take your chance, that is a moment that breaks you, where you think of that, and they're probably thinking of that. And we saw the disorganization, the rest of the match, it all changed from that point. Like we saw from there, everything was different. LeBron was different. The errors started coming. Because before that, by the way, LeBron was putting on a masterclass. I loved the way he was playing. I loved every decision that he was making. Until that moment, everything changed. Stupa, I think, was fine. He wasn't obviously that smash where he got an easy smash at 30-40, and maybe you keep it going. At the set point, then at 6-5, maybe you got a chance. No, point over, set over. But they were broken from there. And I felt like they couldn't find their way back. And that is because of Coello and Tapia, the way that when these guys rise up to the occasion, you feel like if they rise up and you don't take your chances, you have no chance to get back.
Yeah, like they obviously got broken mentally to some extent.
It was a mental breakage, I feel, more than anything else. Like the fact that you have the chance and you missed the chance. And it was 30 love. Like it's 5-3, 30 love. That's a big one. That's a big one. For it to go wayward for 4 games, that's tough.
Yeah, no, it's obviously tough. And you could tell like that it was broken. And also maybe it was related to them, failing to serve for their set in the day before against Chingalan. We'll talk about the match against Chingalan. But LeBron took a break, right? It was a bathroom break or something after the the first set, and he came back. He came back like discombobulated. Like he was not.
It continued, because
Like,
what was it? It was one break in the second
It was
set.
one break, and they were
It
chasing
continued.
it, and
Five
then-
consecutive games. Six consecutive games they lost.
The-
From 5-3, no, five games. Sorry, from 5-3 down, all the way to 2-love down in the second set.
Yeah, you go.
No,
That's
down,
a
they-
big.
you go down
dip.
a
Yeah.
set and a breakdown to Coello Tapia, you feel like your life is over.
Yeah, it's
they suck
especially in these fire conditions of the ball goal just flies.
I actually you remember in the beginning of the match, I thought these conditions might help Stupa Lebrón
Yeah.
more. Like Stupa Lebrón is the best at chiquitas. Many of our interviewers that we talked to, remember Coach Nacho Porto or Christian Medina, they talked about LeBron having the best chiquitas. Like, so what, like, I felt like the chiquita was going to be big in play here. And then you talk about Stupa going to have, his smashes are going to be able to go out more. They're going to have more power given the conditions. They started off, everything was working like that.
Yeah, they were the best team.
And
They were the
then
better
I don't
team.
know, the second set, they were both less inclined to smash unless it was really.
I think they played a very bad second set and they still lost 6-4.
And they still had. So this brings me to my next point. They had many chances despite all what we're saying.
Exactly.
They were in this match to the last second. Yeah. You know, Tapia looked like he was injured or dealing with something.
LeBron
and LeBron was too. And so they shifted their tactics to test Tapia's fitness. And they did get to a deuce on one of Coello Tapia's service games towards the end. I think it was out 5-3. And so they had like micro chances. They just didn't capitalize on it. And part of it is undisciplined from LeBron. Part of it's Stupa not maybe being proactive enough. But they still had their chances in that match. And guys, I think in general, Stupa Lebron match up better against Coello Tapia than Chingalan. Like, I like their matchup. They were in this match.
That's wild to say, saying that since Chingalan just beat them.
They just beat them, but they beat Chingalan. So, like, I think when they play in a certain way, like, I think we saw Stupa Lebron play the best they could have played, or that we have seen them play in a long time this tournament. I think they match up quite well. They had many chances this match, and they just gave it away. And I think it was a part. I think it was a mental dip, like you guys were mentioning. I think it was really a mental dip, and this organization, they lost faith.
Yeah, they lost faith. They lost five straight games. 5 straight games.
They were in the match. They were in the match.
Something from before this match even started, when I'm like, okay, this is something I'm going to track, and let's find out exactly who's going to be better at this. Because playing in these very hot conditions, the ball is flying. One of the toughest things to do is going to be the lobs. So I decided to calculate throughout this entire match the lobs that each player hit, and let's see the effectiveness of them, okay? So, and then I broke each one down, but I'm going to go team by team here. So Coello and Tapia, they hit 30 lobs this match. Imagine the entire match, they hit 30 lobs. They lost 14 of them, okay? On the other hand, Stupa and Lebron hit only 20 lobs, but they lost 16 of them. So it comes back to me, the conclusion is, who was clinical when the lob came over? Coello and Tapia were much more clinical when it came to lobs coming their way. Stupa and Lebron did not capitalize on the lobs that they hit. They only won 4 of the 20, but Coello and Tapia, they won 16 of the 30 that they did.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So
a nice stat. It's also much harder to lob Coello and Tapia.
It is. And if
Tapia
you
was smashing from the park.
If I give you the breakdown, Tapia, the most people that lobbed this match were Lebron and Tapia. Why Lebron? Well, Tapia, because he's going over Stupa most of the time with the lobs, and Lebron because he's going over to Coello, which might be sometimes Coello isn't as aggressive as we spoke about before. So Tapia lobbed 19 times. Won the ball, won 10 of the points, lost 9 of the points. And then you move on to LeBron. LeBron lobbed 13 times, but guess what? LeBron lost 11 of those 13 points where he lobbed. So efficiency, Coello and Tapia, more clinical. Inefficiency, LeBron Stupa when it came to the lobs and smashing.
Yeah, that definitely tells you part of the story. For me, also another part of that is that I personally would have liked to see Stupa a tad more proactive, aggressive in this match, like just a bit more. And And maybe this is what they're still struggling to find, like the game style, because when he's very proactive and when he's playing aggressive, that's the style LeBron wants to play. They can dominate. They went up 5-3. Like I felt like his comfort zone is being a little bit more passive.
Yeah.
And
which is going to bring us to a point we're going to talk about the heated argument between him and
also
LeBron.
He's not in hunter mode. Like Stupa's not in hunter mode. Like Tapia, like after that the changeover at 5-4, he turned on hunter mode, and he's like, every ball that's coming my way, I'm looking to end, and he's moving forward, like covering ground, like encroaching on even Coello's side at times, like, you know, that type of like suffocating a certain player in a certain direction. Stupa is not doing that. It's not his comfort zone. I don't know. That's what my eye.
Yeah, I agree with you, because also Stupa has been, feel like he's been like raised in Padel to play the same Bella type of game, you know, or build, and then wait for your shot and hit it. And then LeBron came in with a revolutionary type of play where he's like more creative. Let's approach quicker. Let's be more unpredictable. And that's why there's a clash there. Like LeBron wants to take him outside of that, and Stupa's like, let's play the traditional Padel that we've known about for the past 20 years or so.
Yeah,
well, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Stupa is old school, huh?
He's
old school. And that's the clash that they're having, and I can't wait till we get into that conversation about both of them. But Haroon, well, we have every single week, we reach a point that we need to name an MVP for the tournament. So for the Valladolid P2, who's your MVP?
That was a tough one there, because like I said, to me, I think Stupa and LeBron let this one go. I would have to say it's a co-MVP between Tapia and Coello. I don't really think...
Why do you keep doing this diplomatic thing? Come on, man. Pick someone. Just make a pick.
It's fine. It's probably Tapia. Fine. Like, to me, Tapia more, okay, he got injured, so he had to deal with a bit more, maybe, or something. And so it was like more of a struggle for him, so he's the MVP. But it's not like, you know, Stupa and LeBron, to me, fumbled the bag. But he's not like an MVP. Oh, wow, technically he's the most valuable player. But fine. Minus Tapia. What about you, Ismaeel?
For me, well, you know, there's a lot of pressure when you have to play at home and in front of your own crowd, and when you want to prove to your family, your friends that I'm doing this for you, and you want to make them proud. So I imagine Coello had a lot of pressure. And for me, throughout this tournament, his level was fantastic. He dealt with it amazing. LeBron already called him earlier. We saw in the interview that we talked about as the most mentally tough player on tour. So I thought, for me, Coello was the MVP. Like his level doesn't dip. It just doesn't dip, guys. He's like the Yannick Sinner of Padel. He does not dip. He has a very consistent high level. Sure, Tapia's best level is the best Padel there is, arguably, in the history of mankind. And when Tapia woke up, but that was this part of the match. For the tournament, Coello, for me, is the MVP of the tournament, Yousef.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Arturo Coello is the MVP this tournament. The mental fortitude that he displayed throughout the entire tournament, especially in this final, I think he is the reason they won this match, they won this tournament. And Tapia was the sidekick in this tournament. Like, he might have a few wow plays here and there, but Arturo Coello from start to finish was the king. And something I love about Arturo Coello is like the hunger that he has. You know, after they lost that Italy major 2 weeks ago, he was walking home, and I was watching his vlog, and he said, you know what this plate's for? Because the second place, you get a plate. He said, you know what this plate's for? This is to look at yourself and see how you failed. To look yourself, it's like a mirror to see how you failed. So even him making it to a major final, he is not satisfied with that whatsoever. And look what he did. He came back at pressure week to win in front of the entire family, and he made it happen.
That's nice. I like that you mentioned that about him, because you don't think of him as this fierce, hungry competitor because he's such a nice person and he's so humble, but he's a vicious competitor.
No, of course he is. He wasn't happy with that Italy major final at all. And he said, I played like crap. I played so bad. I was such a bad player. I felt nothing. I felt no rhythm. And I just knew it when I saw that, like, okay, Valladolid, Coello's going to rise up.
I love that you mentioned that, because he doesn't get enough credit. I personally have not been giving him enough credit, and although I was a big fan of his game, but I'm starting to appreciate him more and more. And to Tapia's credit, Tapia also said like he's trying to do this for Coello, and like Tapia got injured towards the end of this match day in the final against Stupa Lebrón, and Coello carried them to that finish line. Yeah, Tapia activated aggressive mode, a little bit more hyper-aggressive mode, but who was there the whole time, covering more ground when he needed to? Who was supporting? Who was positive? We saw the stats at the end of the match. 3 unforced errors in that second set from Coello and Tapia. I bet you that none of them were from Coello. I don't remember an error from Coello in that second set. I don't remember one.
Which makes him really not even human. But Haroon,
Yep.
guys that you have been high on for as long as I can remember, ever since we started this podcast, and that's Stupa and Lebrón.
Yes.
And finally, Haroon, Lebrón is able to take down Galan because nobody beats Juan Lebrón 6 times in a row. That has officially happened. It is over. 1-5 now against Lebrón. Took him down in an epic semi-final clash. I want to know your thoughts on that match and on Stupa and Lebrón during that match.
What's an amazing match, huh? What an insane, amazing match. I loved everything about that. I love the dynamic. I love the chemistry. I love the way they were handling adversity together in tough moments, in challenges, and the way Lebrón was a leader. And I loved his energy, where like when they were in that final set, him and Stupa, like Lebrón is telling him, "What if we hold our serve at 6-5 and make it to the tiebreak? I guarantee you we are going to win this match." So it's like I was like, "Let's go!" I was fired up. I loved it. Like finally, some fire that is being developed between them, and it's igniting between them. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Lock in Stupa Lebrón for world number 1. I was excited from that moment, and especially how dominant they were in that tiebreak. And Stupa was the MVP of that match by far. He was insane. Lebrón was Lebrón. He was the classic Lebrón, amazing, that we know about. But Stupa was playing it to a different level. He was becoming elite. I'm like, finally, okay, Stupa is becoming the player that Lebrón has been begging for quite a while, and they've been fighting for. Come on, Stupa, become that player. And Stupa was hitting the best smashes I've ever seen him hit in my entire life. Obviously, the conditions is helping him out, but what in the world is this? Ball is flying. The ball's like, whoa, Stupa, calm down. I didn't ask you to be Tapia, just become better Stupa. Like, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And I was like, Chingalan, they were a little bit passive. Maybe they weren't playing their best game. I feel like usually Galan is very aggressive in matches against Lebrón, but I don't know. They were kind of like waiting for Stupa and Lebrón to beat them. But Stupa Lebrón did come out and beat them, and they were playing aggressive, and that tiebreak was phenomenal. And I loved everything about it, and I thought they're the heavy favorites for me going into that final because high on confidence, they're figuring something out. Tapia and Coello should be afraid. But yeah, nobody beats Lebrón 6 times in a row, as you say. And finally, I told you they're gonna beat Chingalan. You weren't high on them beating Chingalan. You thought it was over. They're never gonna beat them. They come so close and they lose. I love that. I keep my faith for these players. I keep believing in Chingalan and I beat Coello Tapia. I keep believing in Stupa Lebrón and then they beat Chingalan. I love this feeling. I love to support these guys. And yeah, I'm hyped.
It was awesome win. I remember before the Lebrón interview, I told you I don't see Stupa Lebrón actually beating Chingalan. And then after I saw that interview, I felt something. I don't know. I had a gut feeling that the hunger, the drive, the way it ended between Lebrón and Galan, like this is a hunger. This is a man who's going to spend every waking second trying to figure out Chingalan. They've gone final set now the past couple of times, and this time they got over the hump. And I think I love what you're saying, Haroon, because I agree. Stupa played amazing in that match, and he was the MVP for me as well. Lebrón played fantastic. He managed that match very well. I don't think it was his best match, but I think they found their best level together this tournament. Yeah. And maybe they found their best level together in this match. Yeah. And I loved they were playing more proactive. They were more aggressive. They were moving forward quicker. They seemed to be very aligned in terms of positioning very well. There were no gaps. Chingalan didn't really know where to go on the court because they were really playing very well. Stupa is great defensively. This is not new. But he unlocked something in terms of his proactivity and aggression, and them together aligning on the game style that Lebrón wants them to play to compete. I felt like they unlocked that day. And yeah, no one's going to beat Stupa Lebrón. No one's going to get Lebrón 6 times. Lebrón is Lebrón, like Stupa was amazing, but Lebrón is a brilliant paddle mind. Brilliant. Like, you cannot out-tactic him a lot, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you can beat him on execution, but tactically, I always feel he's the best tactically on court.
True.
And so, only that, I think this bodes well for the next coming matches against Chingalan.
Yeah.
No, most definitely. And to me, even in the beginning of the match, it felt like, okay, something's different. They're up for this one. Stupa and Lebrón, like, these guys are some of the most competitive humans out there. And last time they were close, and Lebrón, you could just feel like he wanted this one bad. And Stupa, I think the same exact thing. And the way he came out and played, and as you guys said, not going to repeat what you guys said.
No, but I agree with this point, Yousef, because even though that they were down a set, I felt all throughout the second set, like, their energy, I felt they were going to win. Their body language was different.
They were the better team the entire match. Like, overall, like, some dips here and there, but overall, they deserved to win that match. If they had lost that match, I was going to be really sad for them. They deserved it.
But they believed they were going to win that match. They had belief. And I don't know if we can say that for other ones.
Yeah, but the thing I love the most is, 5-4 when they were serving for the match, and then they choked it, right? And then you're like, oh, no, is this going to be the moment that breaks them?
Yeah.
Final that broke them. In that match, it did not break them, and they showed amazing mental resilience to come back and win. And I think that was a very, very dominant tiebreak that they both played. And Stupa, the way he was able to come back,
7-1.
The way Stupa was able to fight, LeBron was able to. It just felt like I felt like LeBron brought out that alpha mentality within Stupa. Yeah. And that's something that we've been looking for a while, because we haven't. It was there with the Super Pipes, by the way. When he was with Martin Dineno, it was there. But it's been gone for a while. Maybe the injury played a part. But I think that tough love, we're going to get into that more, but the tough love from LeBron, I think it's doing wonders at the moment, because Stupa showed us his best level. And I don't know what you have to say. We're going to get into that, Haroon. Last thing to say about this, I love the mental resilience to be able to come through and win that match.
Mental resilience, and they're fighting together. They're fighting together as a team. Well, guys, there were many interesting storylines and matches that happened all throughout this tournament in Valladolid. Yeah. And we have some biggest winners. So, Yousef, let's get to your biggest winner of the week.
This is slowly becoming... it might be recency bias, but they're slowly becoming one of my favorite team. And that's Javi and Fran Garrido again. I'm talking about them again because they deserve their flowers again.
They're looking special.
Last tournament it was a major, and they made it to the semifinals. But on their way, they did beat a Juan and Martin Dineno that was hampered, had an ankle injury. So you're like, okay, they got a break. They had no breaks this tournament. They had to go through fire to reach the semifinals again. Who did they take down? They're on their way to owning Yanguas and Yeto, because they took them down again in much more convincing fashion. And then off that, Gonza and Tolito in their last tournament. Haroon, you always like to say people in their last tournament, they're playing inspired. They have this just energy within them that gets them over the hump. Yeah. They ended that partnership for us. And then moving on to the quarterfinals against Momo Gonzalez and John Sanz, who were playing such fantastic paddle that we're going to get into. But final set, tie break, down even a match point, they were able to find their best level also and get through them, like, just again and again and again and again. These guys are able to find their best level, and I just love the mentality that they have. They're two alphas, by the way, on the court. They're two guys that are not afraid of anyone. Javi only knows one gear, and that's full throttle. He does not know. He only knows fifth gear. I think sixth gear. If there's a seventh gear, that's what he plays at. He does not know to go any other way, and it works in his favor. Sometimes it doesn't work in his favor. Sometimes, but more often than not now, it's working in his favor, and it's fantastic. They're taking down some of the best teams we have in paddle. And this emergence of their team is so important, because now we have a new team that's able to take down the top guys eventually falling against Coello and Tapia. But they showed us Rome was not an outlier, and we are having an amazing team that's able to fight with the best of the best.
Yeah, I love the Javi, Leal, and Guerrero playing style. Javi Leal is always looking to come forward at any cost, right? He just wants to come in. He's coming
He
in
only
off
knows
first.
one pace with his volleys. Looks,
He's playing hard, they're like playing for me a Lebrón Galán's brand of Padel.
Yes.
Just
Even
they're
though they're
coming
much smaller
They're
in size.
smaller. I didn't think they would have this.
They play big, though.
They play big, and Javi Leal's coming off first serve returns, coming in looking to come in off a first return, first serve return. Chiquita closing the net. Him and Guerrero. Guerrero low key has power.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
He has a massive spin on those smashes.
Very, very impressive. His power for his size. I wouldn't think that he has that much firepower. Also, I told you this before. Fran Guerrero is built for it. He's built for it. He loves the moment. He
has a lot of
Is it,
confidence.
for example?
For me, it's Guerrero that is the alpha built for the moment guy. A little bit more than Leal.
Really?
Yeah, for me, it's Guerrero.
Haroon, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree because if you watch him with Jairo Batista, he's always going for it. He's the lead. He's the one in the driver's seat and leading. And finally, he has somebody that is ready to come with him, to the front lines of war. So, and Javier is not afraid of that. Javier is like he's the suicide bomber, wants to go on the front lines, taking a machine gun. I'm gonna kill you all. And Fran Guerrero's he just wants to approach.
But doesn't that make Fran Guerrero a more poised guy? Maybe needs to be a bit laid back.
Right now, yes.
Like the Coello Tapia in a way, where Coello has to take the back seat because Tapia needs to go out and shine. So Javi Leal, he takes the front seat. So Guerrero, he takes that back seat a bit.
Could be. That's a good recipe.
Guerrero to me looks very consistent. I don't have any complaints about his consistency.
Yeah.
So if he's going to be this consistent and this aggressive, keep doing it, brother. It's working amazing. But I love watching Fran Guerrero in the moments. They played 4 tie breaks this tournament. They won 3 of them.
Yeah.
Because in the tie breaks, Fran Guerrero and Leal are both built for it, but Fran Guerrero, especially for me.
I feel like both of them. I feel like both.
But
I'm gonna take a Haroon diplomatic approach
I've been
here.
seeing Guerrero in the big moments.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
But Leal is such a raw talent that people are waiting for him to make his splash, and he's making his splash, and he's become very consistent and still as aggressive, which is dangerous.
He's a fun player. I want to say they're a very fun team.
It's a fun team, and we are going to get into some overreaction or not.
But it's what's great. The feeling that we had. I mentioned this before, but I'm mentioning it again. It's kind of exactly the proper feeling that we had is that they were like magic or bust, where we thought. They're wild cards. We have no idea what they're going to be like. We were afraid that maybe they might be really, really bad. And then we were hopeful they would be amazing. And they were kind of like that in the beginning. They weren't having great results and they were figuring out their vibe. But then they look like they're an atomic bomb that's just going to force to be reckoned with right now. So it's great for Padel. And it's nice to have somebody lower rank that could take down a big seed,
And a sign of the importance of chemistry and being on the court with someone you're so happy and willing to fight for. We just talked about Stupa Lebron. Seems like they're unlocking that. But they're also former friends, right? They're friends from childhood together.
Leal and Guerrero?
Yeah.
They've known each other since they were kids.
They've known each other since they were young puppies.
Yeah.
And
obviously,
so now they have
national team together, and now,
and they have that chemistry now together. They're finding it together. They're fighting as brothers on the court.
Yeah.
And you see, that means that they can beat the top teams in a row.
Yeah.
I
love it. I love
this
it.
team.
Gonna be so fun to watch. Haroon, who's your biggest winner? Though?
Yeah, my biggest winner is somebody not as flashy, but somebody that has a really amazing story going under the radar there, which is Adam Axelson. Adam Axelson came from the qualies all the way to the round of 16, falling to Chingalan, like that. Come on, that's a valiant fight. You just bow your head down and you expect to lose. So you can't ask more from a non-Spanish speaking player in a premier Padel tournament right now, because that's an amazing achievement. You fell to Chingalan 7-5, 6-2. You played a great match for a set and a half, and then they're like, yeah, we can't do this. But the first 7-5 first set is great. That's like, if you would have told me, or maybe if you would have asked him, like, hey, would you want to lose the first set 7-5 to Chingalan in the round of 16, I'm like, take it. I'll take it right away. That's a great thing to be able to fight in front of arguably the best player in the world. So hats off to them, him and his partner as well. But Adam Axelson, hats off to you. Looks like he's, cooking something there. Sweden, they're cooking a lot of cool stuff. And we love to see, because we want to see a lot of variety. He's my biggest winner.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome pick. I love the Adam Axelson story, because during the boycott, he was there, he was playing, and he made it all the way to the semifinals in one of the tournaments. I think it was in Cancun. But here he is now, when everyone's back, everyone's playing. He took down Sacher and Patignotto, who are very good players. Sacher and Campagnolo just took down Carburger 2 tournaments ago. Yeah. So we're talking about he didn't beat nobodies. He beat some good players. And then for a set and a half, what he did against Galan, because that's the guy who's across of him. So this is amazing confidence boost going forward. You play that and it's you go home and you're like, okay, I can do this. I can go toe-to-toe with some of the best.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice sign. And you need these playoff bruises, right? Like in the NBA and the NFL, where you learn from these experiences so you can grow. So he's getting them.
We need people from different countries to shine on these stages.
Yeah, so it's
and
awesome.
Adam Axelson is breaking that mold, which is awesome.
And he's still super young, by the way. He's still super young.
I know there's a lot of room.
20
for
years old.
He's still not in his prime. He's gonna have lots of chances here.
Yeah.
How about you, Ismaeel?
Guys, we've been really underwhelmed by this player's performance for the past couple tournaments now. Javi Garrido, going 3 tournaments in a row without a win, again with the lead back, and he finally got his first win in 69 days. He put a post out on Instagram on how much this meant to him. But the way he did it, we have to give him credit for it, because Yousef, the story about Padel with the lucky loser is that, if you have your partner get injured, you can pick someone who lost in the qualies to be your partner. Essentially, they get to be a lucky loser, and they get to partner with Garrido, who's obviously a top seed. And, he got to partner with Gil, and they went together, and they took down Diestro and Esbri, a team that we just saw have a magical run and take down Coello Tapia a couple of weeks ago. And to go and have that upset to get your first win in 2 months plus.
69 days.
69 days. So for Garrido, a player we saw reach the pinnacle of the sport last year, especially when he was playing with Bergabini and before with Yanguas. We know his level.
Major finalist.
He's a really, really top level player. So it must have been hurting for him. And he spoke to how much it meant to him. Yeah. And he lost after that to Stupa Lebrón. But Stupa Lebrón might have played their best paddle of their lives. This took
them to a tiebreak that first set.
Yeah, so they
forced a fight.
Yeah, they played them close.
Yeah.
So Garrido has to be feeling good about this positive sign for him. And I think it's going to be ultimately a good learning experience, this period for him, these couple losses and, forcing to retool or to rethink your game. I think he's ultimately going to get the best out of himself because of it. So I like the story for him, guys.
It's a great point, because actually he just did an interview when he talked, and he said, these losses, I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning where I'm lacking, because I know that my highs, I can go toe-to-toe with the best. But he said, I have some things that I need to fix. I need to work on some weaknesses. And I think this past, I would say it's 2 months now, he said, I've identified all these different things that I need to work on and improve to reach the level I think I'm capable of.
Yeah, I think he can reach higher levels.
Also, shout out to Diego Gil, because lucky loser, and then you go on, you take down Diestro and Esbri with a partner that you don't play with. And on the opposite side, by the way, Diego Gil plays on the left side. He played on the right side, took down Diestro and Esbri, then went on against Stupa Lebrón and was also able to put up a good match. So that deserves some credit right there.
It deserves a lot of credit. It speaks to his talent.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. Yousef, any honorable mentions you want to talk about?
Yeah, of course. The Deutsch brothers, Haroon, we've been high on them for a while, ever since last year during the World Cup and before that. This week they had a good run again, taking down Javi Ruiz and Gonzalo Rubio, and then...
That's a low-key good win.
It's a good one, but it's a win that we know that they are capable of now. And then next match, which I think was one of the most fun matches I've seen this year, they eventually lose to Momo Gonzalez and Johnson, 7-6, 6-7, 6-7. it came down to the wire, really. Like, even in the match point, then Nuno Deutsch goes up for the jumping smash, but Momo Gonzalez showed how clutch he was. Went outside, exit, put the ball in the net, ended the match. But it was just an amazing run from them, and they're getting closer and closer and closer to the top. They keep getting tough draws, but that's what it has to be. You have to get through these big guys to be able to jump up in the rankings. They're making moves. They're doing amazing.
Yeah.
Love this for them this week.
Yeah, so like building off your point where you said, yeah, this is a win that we expect them to have now. Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah. By the way, they're slowly rising up in the rankings now. This is like Bordeaux is going to be their second tournament. The next tournament coming up, Bordeaux is going to be the second tournament where they're going to be seated in the top 20. So hats off to them. Like in Valladolid, they were seated 19, which is a big achievement for them. So now they're on the scene. Now this is no longer an up-and-coming team, you know. Yep. Yeah, Portuguese guys, they're not, you know, they weren't raised with Padel. They're now there. And we should expect from them good results and great results because they are a very talented team and they've been showing a lot of good, good talent and skills and fight and confidence that they're able to take down, you know, really good players. So, yeah, they're definitely a biggest winner, and I think we should expect from them good things now because they have achieved the top 20. They're the top, 20th best team now in the world, so that's great for them.
It's huge for them, Haroon, and it's similar to Axelson where they are ahead of schedule. They're further down the line than Axelson because they've already been playing a lot of these matches against top players, so they have been getting that experience. To the point now they're going toe to toe with the best of the best. Yep. So and I have to remind us all that they've been playing Padel for 6 years or something. Like they're new to Padel. 2019
or something.
They're new to Padel. Like 2019 to be this good. This is awesome for them.
We've almost been playing since 2019.
Yeah, and
we're not.
No, not 2019. 2020 or maybe you. 21. I don't know.
Yeah. 21 for me, 20 for that, but not in that vicinity.
No. Last but not least, though, I'm just loving the story of Martina Calvo and her and Arturo again. They keep having just incredible runs. Again, making it all the way to the semifinals of a tournament. And Haroon, I do not know what's going on, but they just know she knows how to beat Sofia Araujo. She just took her down again in this tournament. Her and Ostero starting that new partnership. Martina Calvo is coming to end that partnership soon, it looks like it. Yeah, because they made it to the semifinals again. And 16 years of age. I don't know what this girl's going to do when she eventually gets all these bruises and bumps that you're talking about, Ismaeel, these scars of war under her belt. This is a potential world number 1 player.
A 16-year-old who's dominating the world number 4, that's scary.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that you're world number 4 and you have to break up your your team now because these kids are beating you.
She might force Sofia into a second breakup.
It might happen.
Oh my
God. It's crazy. It's crazy. She cannot figure out Calvo out.
She shouldn't have broken up. Sofia Araujo shouldn't have broken up. But
I don't
agree 100%.
Agree with that.
Well, guys, those were our biggest winners, but there's a team that we always need to talk about, you know, and we've been high on them. Ismaeel, you've been very high on them. This tournament, they had a nice match, made all the way to the quarterfinals, but eventually losing to Chingalan, and that is Carburger. So, any thoughts on them this tournament?
First match they beat Barahona Garcia. We expect them to come out of that match. You know, that the Carburger, Ausburger, and Cardona have proven to us they're a top-level team capable of beating the best. Haroon, I was a little bit disappointed in that match against Chingalan because I thought they had it.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna win this match. I thought the conditions favored them. I thought they had what's in place. You know, they've proven they can beat them before. I was a little bit disappointed too. You know, they went to a first set tie break. It was close, thin margins there. Yeah. I thought about a couple, I don't want to say careless errors, but errors that didn't need to come, both from both Cardona and Ausburger in that first tie break. They went up a break in that second set. They had the break early, 2-love. They could have been riding away, but then they lost it immediately. I feel like they had some dips in concentration in that second set, and also throughout the match. They had many break points throughout the match, and they don't convert. I feel like What's lacking for me is their concentration, their focus. I think it dips at times.
I didn't like their energy also.
And that was not my next point. I didn't like the body language. I didn't like the energy. I thought Cardona made a couple too many errors on defense this tournament, especially against Chingalan. I didn't like that from him, and we know that's the area of where he needs to develop the most, right? The defensive side, especially defensively at the back.
Yeah.
I thought Galan was eating him alive in that backhand corner. I thought he got to that a lot. And the body language wasn't the best. Haroon, a bit too careless.
Yeah.
I think it's concentration.
Yeah.
But I expected more from them, Haroon, because I thought the conditions suited them that they could win.
Yeah, because we saw how Stupa Lebrón took them down. You know, with that style that fits Carburger perfectly. You felt like, wow, okay, the ball is flying. Okay, it's Smash City now. It's Smash City, smash, and they should have won easily, I think, in my opinion. But I don't know. It feels like Carburger, they're not in the groove right now. I feel maybe something outside of the court. Maybe they're exhausted. I don't know. They started this year off with a lot of energy, a lot of practice. Maybe they're exhausted. I don't know. Maybe they're not ready for being at an elite level all the time throughout the tour, all year long. Maybe that's something they're figuring out, because I feel like you're saying, their energy, I don't feel like they're coming in with the same energy that they had for these past, several tournaments that we saw them when they were amazing. So yeah, I think like something's off, but yeah, they're a great team and they should bounce back. But that match against Chingalan, yeah, I feel like you're saying, small things there that they could have went their way, but maybe lack of focus, lack of I don't know what it is, but it felt off to me.
It felt off for me too. I felt like almost after they lost the break that they weren't like talking to each other almost, or they weren't like they lost energy. They had a big energy dip after they lost that break.
Yeah, but like. Specifically this tournament, I think we can blame a bit the weather, because it was brutal and they're playing in the sun. It was burning sun.
Yeah.
Like I was tired watching them in the sun, and these guys, they have to look up every second to hit smashes, and so I can imagine like the amount of energy that they have to exert to hit all those smashes, as much as it favors them, as much as it doesn't at the same time, because they're always pumping, pump. Yeah. But I think Haroon, they need a small break. It might be the season is long, and this coming up, maybe they're gonna need a small break. Let's see if.
Well, there's no break coming up because there's Bordeaux and then there's
but they're going to be playing indoors. They're going to be playing a few tournaments indoors.
Air conditioner, baby, AC
air conditioning,
all day.
Baby. AC might help a bit.
It might be indoors without AC. Have you been to Germany?
Germany, Bordeaux, France.
Yeah, but I mean like in Europe in general. Like
Germany,
indoors does not necessarily have
Germans don't like the AC. They don't like opening AC.
Yeah, but I think we shouldn't be so down on them. This is actually a good result, because 7-6, 7-6 against Chingalan, not that bad. So we do expect more of them. Season's long. Let's see how it goes from here.
No disrespect to Chingalan, but I expect when we go into these conditions, they should win this match.
Yeah.
But in a way, you no longer have your advantage, because everyone can smash. Chingoto is smashing from behind the line. Chingoto was smashing from behind the line this tournament.
But he was smashing more.
So that means everyone's smashing, and you lose your advantage, Haroon.
No, but I disagree that you don't have. I feel like you have more. If you have an advantage when the conditions are worse, then you have more advantage than the people that have an advantage as well. So you're still ahead of the race of the advantage spectrum or whatever.
No, because you know why? Because you actually you cancel each other out. You cancel out the smashing, and then it comes down to playing low. It comes down to, like you said, Ismaeel, the defense down low, the Chiquitas, who can hit nicer running lobs, who can hit better lobs, and then when you come to those, who's the master of those?
Yeah, but if it's a cake,
volley to volleys. Chingoto.
If it's easy for
Chingoto. Defense, Chingoto. If I cancel out the smashing, no one's smashing now. Who has the tools to succeed? Chingoto.
It's a very nice debate, because we just saw right now in this match, who do you thought the conditions favored, Stupa Lebrón or Coello Tapia? but actually end up working out better for Coello Tapia.
They were more clinical in the smashing.
And they were better. It's because they can smash better in general.
I guess, yeah.
So the same way it goes for.
Well, it's an interesting.
It goes the same way for Carburger. Like
I can make the case for both sides.
Yeah, you can argue both sides, and well, you also maybe you can say that you have to play better defense, and maybe you say Cardona's defense is not good enough, and so that like exposes that.
Yeah.
But I think in my opinion, it favors the smashers. So it favors Carburger, and especially if you can smash over Chingoto, who's on the court, he's smaller than the rest of them. Yeah. So I don't know if it's a matter of belief, stamina, fatigue, like you're mentioning, Haroon. I'm not sure exactly, but something to watch.
Also something to, that I was thinking about whenever I played, tournaments, especially Padel in the morning when there's sun and it's blazing sun outside, especially when you're playing a tiebreak and then like a lob comes. You're now thinking about it, and the pressure moments start to become really exhausting every time you have to go run to the back to get a lob or something, or it feels like the pressure, you feel it more physically because of like the heat is like now the sun is hotter, you're sweating more, your hands are slippery, the ball feels like it's been in the air for so long, you've been waiting. So it's like maybe these things kind of also affect the conditions and affect the match.
It's definitely something that plays a factor. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So we want to know what you guys think of this Carburger. Are they fine? Are they not fine? Let us know.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you guys about the, Momo and Sens. What's the thoughts about them? Momo and Sens.
I think Momo Gonzalez and John Sands, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, where John Sands is saying we're happy with the feelings that we have as a team, and eventually the results are going to come. The results came in Buenos Aires, correct? They made it all the way to the semifinals, took down Stupa and Lebrón, and I think they're not an easy out for anyone. No one likes to play this team. They're evolving into a great team. I think it's kind of the same vibes of Coquinetto and John Sands of last year, where this team is a team that is going to have to make you grind and you're going to have to fight. And by the end of the season, I think they're both extremely fit. So when people have dips, I think they're going to be there. And I love to watch them, regardless of the results. I just love to watch them play. And that whenever they play, they're going to have an amazing match. And they eventually felt like this could have been a semifinal again for them, but they lost to Leal Guerrero. But I love their progression. I love where they're going. I love them as a team. I love that Momo got a clutch win for his mental. And so I think there are lots of wins, and I think this is a team that's looking okay long term. Let's see where we're gonna be by the end of the season. So love this team, continuing to love this team, and I can't wait to see what they do throughout the entire summer.
Yeah, Haroon, I like a lot the fact that Momo got that clutch win. He had a breakthrough, especially last tournament, and you could say this was another semifinal basically in the bag, and then you would have said, well, and that now we're looking at them compared to Coquinetto and Llangos are very much differently, because in the beginning we thought Llangos and Nieto looked like the much superior team. Now the story is really shifting.
It is shifting.
And Sands and Momo, the main thing I like is I love watching their chemistry together. Their energy together on court is fantastic. They have pure brotherly love and fight together. Like they are going to war together. I don't see Sands judging Momo. I don't feel like Momo's judging Sands. Like
it's a very positive team.
I feel like it's very, very positive. Yeah. They lose tie breaks and they rebound. They don't dip. They're fantastic. They're fantastic for the sport. I hope they stay together, and I want to see them do better.
I disagree with you about some things about you hope they stay together. I don't. As a fan, yes, I hope they stay together because it's amazing to watch them play. It's amazing to watch Momo. Momo paired with anybody is great because he's a great guy. Same thing for Sens is also like it's fun to watch them. They're a great chemistry, great camaraderie, great team, but for their sake, I hope they don't stay together because I feel like they have their ceiling is low. Because to me, I don't know if this is the right comparison. If anybody's gonna get triggered about this in the comments or whatever, but like I compare them to like a Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, like Tottenham Spurs or the Arsenal team. Like they're a good team you don't want to face ever. But it's not a team like you're like, oh yeah, this team is gonna win the title this year, or this is gonna win. Like it's not like a heavy favorite at any time. It's like, yeah, they're dangerous. Like Monfils Yousef when he said like Monfils in a tennis comparison, like super talented, super great. You never want to face him because he's so tricky, so talented, so good. But I don't know if you really pick them to win the tournament and you think that they're gonna bet on them long term. It's kind of that vibe what I get from them. So for their sake, I hope they break up. For my sake as a fan, I hope they stay together.
I don't know. For me, they're fun to watch. Haroon, they're getting results. Like they're unlocking results. So I don't know if it's fair.
Yeah, it's unfair. And also, Momo in an interview, he said, people think because I'm smiling and I have this positive energy and positive attitude, like in a way, I'm not as hungry as other people who are getting. But he's just saying, like he feels like I'm a bit treated unfairly there. People don't think I don't have the hunger, but I do. It's just like the personality and the way I carry myself is different. I am as hungry as everyone on tour. So I guess in this exact instance, it goes against him because Haroon thinks, for example, maybe he's fun and loving and he just wants.
No. I don't question his hunger. No. I don't question his hunger.
No, but I can understand why you would think like, okay, he's like that person who's not gonna. But I think I don't think that team is. I look at Momo Gonzalez and the amount of the fight that he's diving, his body's scraped by the end of every match. By the way, he's diving, he's jumping, he's doing everything he can.
Yeah,
he's just doing it with a smile on his face. And if you want to use that against him, I guess
I'm not using that against him.
I would say no. I would say
no. But Haroon's not using that.
I'm not saying anything about his attitude. I'm saying his level and the team that he's formed right now. So I don't think that team is going anywhere.
Yeah. You're talking about the ceiling of the team. Yeah, I understand the point. I understand.
So maybe Garrido. Maybe go Garrido or something. Pick up Garrido or something. I don't know. Never mind. Garrido lead back. That's a different conversation. But I'm talking about his level.
Well, Yousef, we had another very interesting tournament on the women's side as well. Talk to us about our champions. What did you think?
Not only are they our champions, they were my pick to win this tournament.
Congratulations, Yousef. Congratulations.
Ari Sanchez and Paula Jose Maria. I knew they were going to find their way back eventually because these are world number ones. These are legends of the game. This is their 41st title win together.
So impressive.
Like it's iconic. Like we're so happy with Coello and Tapia winning 34. How about Paula Jose Maria and Ari Sanchez winning 41? So really impressive from them. I love the way they've been playing this entire tournament. I love the way they bounced back. They lost 3 straight times. And finally, the 4th, they get over the hump back, having a trophy in their hands. I think they played awesome. And the fact that for some reason they have Bea and Claudia's number, they're able to beat them. And I think they love to play. Like, they love that Bea and Claudia take down Gemma and Delphi for them. But they are...
I don't get it. Why do they dominate Bea and Claudia?
I don't know.
They're 4-0 against them now? Or
No. I actually, next episode, I will show you guys. I was doing the math for it since we have no one that gives us these breakdowns. Next episode, I promise to show you guys the head-to-head between all 3. But no, each one has beaten the other one. But I think Ari and Paula have beaten Bea and Claudia more than Gemma and Delphi.
Yeah, but I think this year they've only lost once to Bea and Claudia.
No. Lost once, yeah, but they beat them twice. But each team beat the other one, but one is more dominant against the other.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I don't know why they dominate Bea and Claudia. I think they're 4-1 this year or something like that.
I don't know exactly. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, but what is it about them? Why do they dominate Bea and Claudia then?
I can't say really. I can't say. But Paula rises up. Does Paula like to play against Claudia more? Because the matchup between Bea and Ari, it's really close. And is there something where Paula Jose Maria finds a way to dominate Claudia Fernandez? Maybe. There's something there. Paula was the best player in this final. And she was more decisive. She was the one who's coming after it. She was hungry. She was proactive, like Nacho likes to say. So maybe that's something. But can I pinpoint exactly what it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
But overall, as a team, they were more dominant.
Yeah, we have a very interesting triangle happening at the top of this women's paddle pyramid. But Haroon, what did you think about the win?
It feels like, I don't know if this is a fair comparison or not, why I think that they're able to dominate Bea Bea Gonzalez and Claudia Fernandez, maybe because they're similar. I don't know, similar, but just more experienced and just better and more powerful, I guess. So they're able to absorb that power and energy that Bea and Claudia come with. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see that. I think something mentally needs to happen for Bea and Claudia to take them down, because right now Pablo Jose Maria and Ari Sanchez are in a league of their own. They're just so good. They're able to stay there mentally and win these very tough matches. And it's almost like a sure thing when especially when they face Claudia or Triai and Delphi Brea. That's a interesting matchup there, but they're good, and they're good and they're great and they deserve all the credit. And it's same old story. What's different now?
It's interesting because Gemma Triai, she left Claudia Fernandez because she wanted to get to world number one, and that means she wanted to get over the Ari Sanchez and Pablo Jose Maria. Which she has.
They are
now
in,
that she's
in the race. They're number one.
Yeah, so she substituted Claudia for Delphi, and now she's gotten over it. Now they're dominating that matchup with Ari and Paula. So maybe Ari and Paula do prefer facing Claudia. Maybe they do. Maybe there's something happening there, and Gemma Triai realized that and jumped ship, and that's why she's like, okay, I need someone else who can manage. Maybe it's Paula. Maybe it's just that Claudia is weak against Paula. Something's happening there. But if that's true, on the other hand, there's also Claudia and Bea are able to beat Gemma Triai and Delphi. So, it's a very interesting matchup. But like you said,
Claudia doesn't Delphi to her is a good matchup.
Yeah, it's interesting. I something to dig in more. And but Ari played amazing. She was aggressive. She was proactive. Ari was also awesome in the clutch moments. Claudia and Bea, they had a couple break points, a couple chances. Yeah. They couldn't convert. They paid the price. Yeah. Essentially, they did not take their chance against the world number one, and you pay. Yeah. You pay. But before we go and move on to the next segment, Yousef, I'm going to ask you, who's your MVP of the tournament here?
It's a close one. But I know Paula was probably the more dominant one in a way, but I just loved Ari. And I felt like, especially in the final, she was very consistent, and she was like Arturo Coello style a bit on the other side.
Composed.
Yeah, composed. And I think she played an amazing final, and she had a really good tournament. So I'm going to say Ari Sanchez is my MVP for the tournament.
Okay, Haroon, do you agree?
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And in my opinion, whenever Ari and Paula win a title, I feel like Ari had to do more, because always Ari, when they lose, she's not playing great, inconsistencies, unforced errors, and she loses the head-to-head, the cross-court and stuff like that. But I feel like when they win, credit Pablo Jose Maria is always going to be Pablo Jose Maria. She's elite. She's amazing. But Ari Sanchez has to dig and play, elite, so they can get over the hump. So my MVP is Ari Sanchez, because I think she deserves credit for being consistent and being sharp and able to take down these great teams.
Well, I can't disagree with you guys. Obviously, Ari is awesome, but Paula's my MVP. I just thought she was more proactive throughout the tournament, and I loved her level of aggression, especially in the big clutch moments. She came through, guys. Today, even on breakpoint down, she goes for her smashes, converts. I liked what I saw from Paula today. She's my MVP.
That's good.
Well, fair.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I want to move on to Dude's Cool Dude moment of the week. Yousef, do you have one you want to share with us?
I have one moment that was really so cool, and I loved it. And when I saw it, I'm like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing, and that was when Paquito, a lob, Belwati hits a sky lob, and it goes all the way to the side of Bergamini, and then he lets it bounce, and then from behind the line, boom, kick smash, barely hits the glass, right before the glass, and bounces all the way back, and you're like, I think I've seen that before. And right on cue, with Paquito, after he hits the lob, howls like a wolf. Ooh, why is he doing that? Ding, 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 ding. He's paying homage to the one and only Juan Lebrón also in Valladolid, we could probably say the best smash we've ever seen hit. It was that day in Valladolid. You can just the story, the beauty of sports, of how just it was not scripted and it was the exact same shot basically hit, and then that was the moment they took home the tournament, and it was with Paquito, and Paquito was paying homage to his really good friend and former partner Juan Lebrón. And we'll try to drop the video here of when Paquito hit the smash and then Juan Lebrón hit the smash, and it was nearly identical, and he paid homage to him, and even afterwards he said that was to you, and Juan Lebrón said like how amazing of a human you are, Paquito, to show me that love. And I just loved that moment.
Yeah, shouting out to Lobo. And when I see that, it shows you the respect and love still shared between Paquito and Lebrón, you know, and they shared together.
He was at his wedding. Juan Lebrón was at Paquito's wedding.
They have a close relationship because they went together with word number one, and they broke up.
Yeah.
And they got together, and they broke up
the
again.
The first Spanish team to become world number one.
Yeah.
The first Spanish team.
And
they made history together.
They made history together, and they had a great relationship. And then they separated their ways, and it's still amicable. They still like each other. They still, even you could say, love each other. They have a very fond relationship with each other.
When the interview, when he said, when he told Paquito Navarro, he said just a great human being.
He loves Paquito. They have a great relationship, and Paquito loves Lebrón. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have that with Lebrón and Galan. That's all I'm saying. All that to say that we could, if Galan and Lebrón behave differently, they could have this. No, they chose to go teenage drama style. And now we have this whole mess. They ruined the sport of Padel. They broke up my favorite Padel team in the history of Padel. So yeah, thanks to them.
Okay. Well, that does bring us to our next segment. I think maybe you were trying to give us an amazing segue. Well, that sounded spicy, so let's get into it. Spicy, no spicy. Well, Ismaeel, you want to go ahead and give us one?
Yeah, well, you saw after Stupa Lebrón finally beat Galan and Chingoto after 6 tries. They got their first win in 6 tries.
Yeah.
Really icy handshake between Lebrón and Galan, especially I thought from Galan's side.
From Galan's
looking
side.
away. I want to see, you know what, when you lose a match, I want to see a handshake, a proper handshake, and I want to see some eye contact, you know? I don't want to see you looking away. No, give me that eye contact. Have the eye contact of a man, you know, at least for the pictures, even if you don't want to give it to the person. But at least for the optics, you want to show that you had the proper, respectful, sportsmanlike handshake.
Yeah.
Lebrón Galán was caught all on camera. That was not a warm handshake. To be fair, Lebrón was not warm either. He knew there was no hug.
He looked at him. He looked at
him. He eyed him out. It was that straight handshake with no love,
He did pat him on the back.
But if you really don't like a guy, why do you want to look at his face? Like, I don't want to look at somebody.
No, I want to see that. I want to see that eye contact.
How about this? Just a quick point, because LeBron keeps losing to him, right? But LeBron shakes his hand like a man.
Yeah.
And he looks him in the eye and he tells him good.
Yeah.
And by the way, when Galan was hitting nice shots, he kept congratulating
him. Yeah, he was applauding him mid-match.
Applauding him. Remember that last tournament when he got that ball from outside and then he ran back and then he turned around and he applauded him greatly. And whenever he hit a ball and maybe hit Galan or packed him on the chest or whatever on the leg, he's always apologizing. So why am I getting the sense that LeBron is a gentleman and Ali Galan on the edge?
Don't love
on the edge.
Don't love the handshake. I don't want to read too much into it, but I just want to see.
I'm looking beyond the handshake, though. I'm looking at how LeBron even
mid-match
there. How he's acting. Why am I reaching? I'm giving you receipts, my friend. I'm giving you receipts mid-match. I'm giving you receipts post-match. And even though I feel like LeBron finds a way to have the courtesy within him to shake his hand. On the court, you beat me. So I'm gonna look you in the eye and I'm telling you, good job.
I'm asking Haroon for eye contact on the handshake. That's all I need for Galan to prove the class.
But they did have eye contact.
I need the eye contact, Haroon. I didn't see it.
There was eye contact. Maybe it wasn't right when they both connected their hands together, but there was eye contact.
Slow-mo. You need slow-mo to get that eye contact.
No, but it was like probably, oh yeah, I see you coming. Yeah, okay, here's the thing. But like, it's not like, hey, I'm gonna give you eye contact and kiss you now. It's not like they're gonna turn into a romantic handshake there. It's like, okay, man, your match is done. Okay, we don't like each other right now, but we don't have to.
I see.
It is
Even
more
by
on
the
the
way,
front. It
like,
is more on the frosty side for sure.
It's on the very frosty side, my friend. But also in the beginning of the match, when there's the picture, and then you're supposed to do the picking the heads or tails and whatever. LeBron, right after, boom, he bolted back to the back of the court. He wants none of this. I'm not standing here around the note. He left Stupa to do all the stuff that have to be done in the beginning of the match. Serve, receive, up, down, all that stuff.
Yeah, Stupa and Chingalan must be super amused every time they play.
They can't wait to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they can't see.
And they don't care, because as long as you're good with me, I'm good, man. As if this brings out the best in you, obviously it probably does. Like, I want to beat this guy so bad.
Galan, get over yourself. Come back to LeBron.
No, don't have to.
It's
Don't
never.
have to.
It's never happening. It's never happening.
Look, they don't have to. They don't have to, and that's not an issue. But like, I would like to see them on good terms. I would like to, like Coello said that. Like, I have good relationship with both with Juan, and I have a good relationship with Ali. But down the line, they're probably going to remember these moments fondly where they were together.
They have a year to patch it up before the next World Cup.
Yeah.
They need to have it on good terms.
No, but they're never gonna play with each other. I don't think they're gonna play with each other, and it's.
But even
probably have to.
If Spain wants to win, they probably have to play.
They
Even if they don't want to play together, it's still for the chemistry of the team, no?
You have to, because Coello's gonna. That's another conversation. Don't want to get into it, but yeah, that's a point. Another spicy moment though. Haroon, I don't know if you caught this, but I caught this on the spot.
I caught it.
And that was did you catch it?
Yeah, which is the Stupa Lebrón and Pozzoni, their heated argument happening on the bench. That was a little bit of spicy moment there. But what did you guys think about that? Do you think like the argument happening between them, LeBron losing his cool, Stupa Stupa not losing his cool, but Stupa also getting that heat from LeBron, and then he had to go to the bathroom to take a break. It's Pozzoni telling him, "There's no hope for you. You're lost. It's over. There's no hope with you. You're too much." I don't know. What did you guys think about that one?
I have a very clear take on this, thoughts on this for me. And the first one is that I don't like to read into the literal translations of Spanish, because God forbid we try to interpret these things at face value. I have no idea what most of these sayings mean in Spanish. So like when they translate, God, there's no hope for you, you're hopeless, I think that's not how it's translated. The second point is, you know, if you're a leader on a team, sometimes you have to go to great extents to bring the best out of your teammates. We saw that from Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan. They were extremely hard on their teammates. Tom Brady. You can go to the stories, read about
Kevin
Michael,
Garnett.
how hard Kevin KG.
He punched Steve Kerr in the face.
On Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper, Kobe Bryant, how hard he was on Sasha Vujacic and Lamar Odom, all the young players that we would have on a team. He goes to the extent he was bullying them in practice, giving them elbows, body checking them. Sometimes you need to do that so you can mold the player into the player that they need to become. And I feel that's what LeBron is doing. And you know what? Like after I saw that moment, my initial reaction was especially when I saw Stupa get up and it looked like he was fed up, like he couldn't handle that.
Threw his hat, threw his racket.
When I saw that reaction, I thought, okay, Stupa can't handle this. And maybe also the fact that it's on TV, on camera, he doesn't like it. Like Michael and Kobe, they're bullying people in private. You don't have footage of this. Some stuff for Sasha Vujacic, for Kobe, but like you don't have footage of Michael punching Steve Kerr in the face. But like you don't see that, but you see it live. You're seeing LeBron essentially trying to knock Stupa into a different player. But then Stupa came back and he like actually gave him a high five and he hugged him and they worked it out and they won that match. And you saw Stupa play the best version of Padel next to LeBron this tournament. And so I say, LeBron actually got the best out of Stupa through his like whatever shellacking body shellacking, his verbal ranting. Like he shocked Stupa into something that he can become. And that's what great leadership is. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're not supposed to like it. That's what tough love is. And that's what I thought, Yousef.
To take away from it in the beginning, I'm like, okay. Stupa can't handle this type of relationship, right? Because LeBron wants you to be the best of the best. And we saw, like you said, the best of the best. There's nothing normal about how they reach that point, right? There's something extreme. And this was an extreme moment. And this might be an extreme moment that actually turns Stupa into the player that LeBron wants him to become. And the conclusion from this is exactly what you said. And he found the best paddle. And he found the best within him. And even Stupa afterwards, he said, by the way, the relationship with me, I know who he is. I know who Lebrón is. And Lebrón is just who he is. And he wears his emotions on his sleeve. And the translations, we can take them, like you said, Ismaeel. And maybe they mean something else. Maybe they do mean what we think they mean. But, you know, in Latin culture and in, you know, whether it's Spanish, whether it's Argentinian, they're very emotional type of people. And Lebrón is a very emotional person. And he was letting his emotions out. And he was telling Pozzoni, like, you don't have the balls to tell him. Because maybe that's what you need to do. And at the end of the tournament, if they lost there, we could say it's a completely different story. But we're now Sunday after the tournament's over. The conclusion is that Lebrón was getting the best out of Stupa, and he was only doing it for the good of the team, and it was successful.
Haroon, for me, it was great leadership actually from Lebrón. He's doing it intentionally. I think it's that, yeah, they're emotional, but he's doing it intentionally. He wants to bring the best out of Stupa, Haroon.
Yeah,
it worked. For some people, tough love doesn't work. You have that. You can make that point. Maybe for you, it doesn't work. Maybe for someone, but for someone like I can speak for me. I want you to tell me how bad I am. I want to tell me you stink. I want you to tell me all these things because that's what's going to motivate me. But it might be different for each person. But it did work, Haroon.
No, okay. I'm all for being honest and being truthful and trying to, you know, get the most out of your players and get the most out of the team. I'm all for that. However, though, it's funny that you're saying it's great leadership. I don't fully agree that it's intentionally leadership. It's more of, hey, I'm honest, I'm raw, I'm giving you everything I'm thinking about, and it's not like if you're sandwiching it in a way like, okay, I need to shake you a bit, and you're trying to do that on purpose, and you don't know any other way, and kind of you're being frustrated, fine. But like, if it's coming off like, yeah, I'm just gonna explode on you, then I don't fully agree with that approach. Yeah, I don't take away anything bad from this because that's how Lebrón is, and he's not doesn't seem to have any ill intentions of trying to, you know, put Stupa down or anything. But it's more of like, yeah, it's raw, it's uncontrollable, and Stupa is not used to having that. He's with Dineno, with Lima, with Yanguas, you know, guys that are he has a kind of more chill dynamic with, or more controlled dynamic, and Lebrón is like this bomb who you have no idea what he's gonna say, what he's gonna react like. And obviously he's a much better player than all of his previous partners, so he's never been in this situation where he can't handle any of the demands of his previous partners. Now he's trying to fit, am I able to, you know, match up with this guy and give him what he wants, and sometimes he's not able to do so, and Lebrón is like, yeah, you're not able to give me what I ask from you. So that maybe causes some heated tension. But yeah, if they find a way to do it in a proper way, like this heated arguments, it's fine by me. I don't really think it's bad, but as long as, yeah, it's not disrespectful or anything.
Yeah, I think for me it's still leadership though, because isn't he the better player? Like, I think
he's
Stupa,
the alpha. He's the alpha.
He's the alpha. He looks up to him.
He's four-time world number one. Stupa has no idea what that is.
Exactly. So Stupa knows that. So he's the alpha. So it's intentional for me. Yeah. It's leadership. You might not like it, but it is leadership because he's the leader of this team, of this pair.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, those are spicy, no spicy moments. We hope you guys enjoyed those. And please let us know what you think of them. Well, guys, my favorite segment of every podcast. We reached this point, and that is overreaction or not. So I'm going to tell you guys something, and you let me know. Is it an overreaction? Is it not? First up, Ismaeel. Javi Leal and Fran Guerrero are now one of the best 4 pairs in the world. Overreaction or not?
Wow. 4. Best 4 pairs in the world.
Yeah.
That's high praise for them because they've come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks ago, we were not talking about them in this way at all. But I'm going to have to call overreaction here.
Okay.
For one, because we know the top tier at the moment is still Coello Tapia. And then you have Chingalan, and now you have Stupa Lebrón. They're now in the mix for 2-3. Let's see if Stupa Lebrón will overcome Chingalan anytime soon. At 4, I still have Carburger. I think Carburger is the 4th most deadliest team. We've seen now they've had a lull, they've had a low point here. And Leal and Guerrero, they are back-to-back semi-finalists. But, you know, if we're talking about semi-finals, well, Momo and Sons, they were just in a semi-final last week, too.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go off just the last 2 weeks, more of the body of the work of the year and how they played the top teams.
Yeah.
No, I still have Carburger.
Haroon, how about you? Overreaction or not?
It's an overreaction for me, but because the 4 spot is still up for grabs. They're still, although they beat Mike Yanguas and Coqui Nieto, who are still the 4th best ranked team in the world. But there's still Carburger, there's still Paquito and Bergamini, there's still Momo and Sanz. It's not quite clear to me that they're the 4th best team, right? They were the 4th best team, obviously, in this tournament, but I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, well, I agree with you guys. Unanimous overreaction here. I think it's still open. 2 tournaments. The body work's not that much. And I loving what Paquito and Berga are doing. I love what Carburger are doing. And I am in love with what Sanz and Momo are doing. So at the moment, it's an overreaction. But they are on their way.
Yep.
Next up, Haroon. Ausburger and Cardona will not crack the top 5 this year. Overreaction or not?
That's a spicy one. Because by how they've been looking for the past few weeks, it looks like this is not going to be an overreaction. They've been capable of taking down. I'd say it's an overreaction. I think they're gonna be able to do it. To crack top 5 for sure. They have the talent, but they just need to figure it out.
Ismaeel, do you agree?
You guys know this is my favorite team. This is my favorite pair. And
But try to be unbiased.
I still think I have belief that they will be able to do it by the end of the year. You know, the season is still long.
Yep.
And we don't know what changes are going to happen to some of these teams.
Yeah.
I expect things to change by the time we come to Barcelona towards the end of the year for the top 8 teams.
Yeah.
I 100% expect them to be amongst the top 8, and I expect them to be amongst the top 5. I think they will be there.
Well,
I think they'll be there. I think
they're amongst the top 8. The thing is, top 5, the math, they're 600 points away from top 5. That means you need to kick out Paquito and Berga, right? Because they're number 5. Kick them out. They're 600 points away. I think this is an overreaction. I think they do it. This team is too good not to be in the top 5.
Yeah, me too. I think they're going to be in the top 5.
Well, also Coello says they're supposed to be in the top. Like, he has one of the best 4 or 5 best pairs in the world.
They're good enough, right?
Yeah.
They're good enough. And you think that over a long period of time, the rankings support that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Haroon, next one. Stupa and Lebron will end the year in the top 2 rankings. Overreaction or not?
Your boys, Haroon.
This is not an overreaction. For sure, my boys, Stupa and Lebron, are going to do it. They look like they figured something out. They had me in the first half. They had me first half out. Maybe I started to doubt them. Will they not be able to do it? No, I think it's top 2. This is not an overreaction. Maybe some magic still where they could still get number 1. Maybe number 1 is not so far-fetched, but for sure top 2 in my opinion.
Ismaeel, how about you? Just the math. It's just the math. Go ahead, though.
Well,
Overreaction or not?
I at the moment, I'm going to call overreaction.
Okay.
Because I think Chingalan are still ahead of them, especially when it comes mathematically points-wise.
Yeah.
But Haroon hinted at that Lebron and Stupa might have figured something out against Chingalan. The trend is showing me that they might have. And if they have figured something about Chingalan, I think they might do it. But I need to see one more win against Chingalan at least before I call this. So I'm going still overreaction here.
Haroon, top 2, just mathematically, okay? Top 2, that means they're right now behind by 3,000 points.
Okay.
That's big.
Yeah, but still there's points to defend and there's...
No, this is in the race. They're 3,000 points behind in the race. So at the moment, I'm also going to say this is an overreaction because you can't have the 6 months that they had in the beginning of the season. And to catch up, it's probably too late. But the 3 spots probably theirs.
Let me add, though, if we believe that Lebron and Stupa have figured...
And they skipped the Qatar major.
True. But if we believe...
Tough. You can't skip a major and find your way back.
Yeah, but if we believe that they found something about Chingalan, believe that other players are watching and they're also going to see what maybe they saw and maybe this sets a pattern. Like right now,
People saw what Diestro and Esbri did.
Sure, but it's Coello Tapia, but Yangos and Nieto now.
Yeah.
3 tournaments in a row now.
Same team. Same team.
What do you mean same team?
Leal and Guerrero. And by the way, they're going to play them again. If each of them, they win their first matches in Bordeaux, they're going to play each other again.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying, like, be careful here. Be careful.
Okay.
Don't get too high on Chingalan.
okay, fine.
Yeah. But by the way, it's not just pure, you're looking at pure points. I think it's matchups. Are they able to take down these guys? And if they take them down, then
You
the
can
points are
take
up for
them
grabs.
down. But if you're always reaching the semifinals. So you're always picking up points in the semifinals, then you lose them. Semifinals, lose them. Semifinals,
If they
lose
do
them.
it enough times, they get it.
3,000 points.
We shall see.
Overreaction.
Second half of
Overreaction.
the season
What
is
do you guys
tricky,
think?
by the way. Second half of the season is tricky in Padel. We've
It's
seen
always tricky.
2 majors are over though. But we
Two
will
more
find
left.
2 more
Two more
left.
True.
Hey,
True.
glass half full.
It's still, it's still up there. Still out there. Well, Ismaeel, how about this one? No one will be able to beat Chingalan and Coello and Tapia in the same tournament this year. Overreaction or not?
That's a tough one. It is a tall task, right? Asking to beat Chingalan and Coello Tapia, that's like saying you have to beat Alcaraz and then Sinner, or beat like a Djokovic and then Alcaraz. Like that's or beat like Rafa and Roger. Those are traditionally tall tasks for anyone.
And
But I'm not going to say overreaction. No, I think someone's going to be able to do it. I look at Stupa Lebrón. They just showed me
Let's go.
that they're capable of beating Chingalan. I also like their matchup, as I told you, against Coello Tapia more than I like Chingalan's matchup against Coello Tapia, who are 1-9 in their last 10 meetings. I look at Carburger. They might surprise us here. I look at some wild cards that might come into the mix.
don't go down anymore. I think those are the only two that.
Those
can
are the two that I think for sure can do it. But I'm not going to count out some other surprises that might happen over the course of the year.
Yeah. Haroon, overreaction or not?
This is overreaction, my friends. You know it. You know it before it's it's coming. Stupa and Lebrón are gonna be able to do it. Stupa Lebrón showed that they were very close of doing it right now, but looks like they're still figuring it out. But they're gonna be able to do it. The Chingalan and Tapia is not a tall task for someone like Stupa Lebrón, and Ausburger maybe could figure it out as well. I think.
I also agree. This is an overreaction. Someone's going to be able to do it, and I think Stupa and Lebrón they're ready. They're ready to do it. Well, next one, Haroon. Yangos and Yetu got the most out of this partnership. It's time for change. Overreaction or not?
I think this is an overreaction. I think still Yangos and Nieto are a good team together. And I've been high on these guys from the beginning. Yeah, it looks like it's not looking great for them, but I still think Yangos and Nieto could figure things out together and still make another semi-final or something, maybe a few, because it's still very tough to beat them. They're very smart, they're very athletic, and they have a lot of variety, in my opinion.
Ismaeel, overreaction or not?
I don't think this is an overreaction. I mean, this partnership from the beginning for me didn't make sense from a Padel game style point of view. They did it mainly for the rankings benefits that they get.
Yeah.
And they might not break up before still the rankings benefits is still there.
Yeah.
But they're dropping points and they're losing in early rounds now the past 3 tournaments. Yeah, Koki was injured, it seems, but they're now getting exposed. Fran, Garrido, and Leal have exposed them now 2 times in the past 3 tournaments. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But I would like to see a change just because I would like to see what new partnerships could come out of this. Maybe Garrido goes back to Yangos. That would be fun for me. They challenged Galan Lebrón, which is the peak of Padel, in my opinion.
Yeah,
also.
that's a good point. But the thing is, right now, okay, Coquinetto, he needs a lefty with him on the team. He needs a lefty. And he plays now in the tier 1, tier 2 category. He doesn't play beyond. He's not going down anymore unless he wants to take a big risk. And there's no lefty out there. Cardona's taken, Sanz is taken, and Coello's taken. He has no one out there unless there's someone, I don't know, lefties, I don't know, Diestro, is Diestro there? But that's the problem, right? So I think they did make the most.
You can go play on the other side. You can go play on the other side.
Well, then go. But I think this partnership, this is as far as they are going to continue to lose very, very tough. It's not going to be like, oh, this is over. They're worse and worse. It's always going to be like a final set loss. This one wasn't a final set loss against Guerrero and Leal, but I think this team really, they're not making the most of their talent and potential. And I think they need to find a way to find new partners so they can get the best out of their paddle in their primes. So this is not an overreaction for me.
With the way Guerrero's playing, I wouldn't be surprised if someone of the top guys calls him soon.
We'll need to think of that one. We can get back maybe next episode and talk about that one. But last one, the most interesting one to me, Ismaeel. The smash is more important than the lob in paddle. Overreaction or not?
Man, I'm so hesitant about this one because I don't want to get roasted by the paddle coaches out there. I know people are going to call me a poser and they're going to call me names if I make the wrong pick here. So I'm not sure.
You believe is correct.
I think right now, for talking about the top level of paddle, this is not an overreaction. Not an overreaction. Look at the top guys. They're all amazing smashers, right? Like, they're all elite smashers. I mean, even Chingoto, when the conditions were changed, he started looking like an elite smasher. So I'm gonna go smash for the top of the game.
Okay.
But I think on the day-to-day, yeah, I'm going to have to say lob. But
you have overreaction or not. Smash more important than the lob.
If you want to reach the top tier of paddle, you want to compete with Coello Tapia, Stupa Lebrón, Carburger. Yeah, I'm going to go with the smash.
Haroon, overreaction or not?
This is not an overreaction by any means, any shape or form. Like,
Thank you for backing me. Now I don't look like a complete poser. At least someone thinks they're with me.
Let me put this out there. Let's say you have two players. This guy, and you want somebody to join your team. Like, this guy's the best smasher in the world. This guy the best lobber in the world. What planet would you like? Yeah, give me that lobber. Give me that lobber with him, mama. I need that lobber on my team. Like, nobody's ever gonna say that. Nobody's gonna say that. Yes, you need the lob incorporated in your tactics or whatever. How effective the lob is. Yousef, you've been a lover of the lob, but still, like, smash all day, baby. Smash all day. I would rather the guy, the person that's playing with me has no idea what a lob is, but he's a great smasher. It's like, dude. I don't need to explain what the lob is. Just smash all day. If you see the ball high, smash it. And that's good for me. What about Yousef?
If you have you have a great smash, right? If I have a great lob, I'm going to neutralize your smash.
Well, that's a good question. What weight is a great lob or a great smash?
Okay, well, that's the thing. That's the point I'm getting to. So but how can you neutralize my good lobs?
By hitting a great smash.
You're playing the chicken and the egg now. That's what you're trying to play. But the thing is, I can neutralize your shot. You cannot neutralize my shot.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, Tapia has neutralized many a great lob, my friend.
No.
He has lights out, knocked out puppies from the parking lot day and night today.
No, but also in Italy, Chingoto neutralized them with his lobs. So the lob is more important than the smash, and this is an overreaction, my friends. You can in no way, shape, or form.
Students of the game.
Someone who can't smash can win a match, but someone who can't lob can't win. Not necessarily will win a match, but you can win with the lob. But you cannot. You can't. If you only have a lob, you can win. But if you do only have a smash, it's not necessary that you will win. So this is an overreaction. The lob remains the most important shot in paddle, no matter how aggressive these players get.
Well, I mean, that's...
because there are many kinds of lobs. Like for example, in this match, I was surprised the running lob was not used as often as I expected. Especially everyone's closing in, whether you're playing chiquitas, so they're closing in more. Then don't go for the high lobs. You go for the running lobs more to send them to the back.
You know why they weren't used that much? Why? Because when they happened, they got knocked out
No.
Coello and Tapia,
they weren't used the right way.
Knocking out everything.
A few were executed correctly. A few, maybe one or two from Tapia, maybe one or two from Lebrón.
Yeah.
But other than that, no running lobs were used.
Because it's very tricky. Because
it is. But if that's your superpower, you'll be able to do it. Okay, but I will.
You're pleasing the coaches. All the coaches are going to say,
I'm not trying to please. I truly believe this.
Great job. You're a great take. But my brother, you saw Coello Tapia. Everything that's up in the air goes night sleep tight.
Okay.
Carburger. You can lob. How about this? Lob Ausburger in the parking lot. Put him in behind the stadium. He's gonna smash from Venice into Italy, Rome if you want.
Okay. We can agree to disagree. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me or do you agree with them?
By the way,
or are you team lob? I would love to know. Please let me know. Please in the comments.
Volley smash. Just volley. Oh, you're gonna pop this? Okay, I'll pop it back to you.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, that was our overreactions or not segment. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and please let us know what you think.
Yeah, that was fun. And in the meantime, guys, we like to keep it transparent, and we keep 100 on this show, and we let you know where we were right, where we were wrong. And let's start off with where we were wrong. Well, Yousef, you were wrong, my brother.
What?
On no occasion, so congrats.
Yeah! I thought you were...
Psyching you out. You had both picks actually right. Haroon, you were wrong on the men's side because you had Ausburger and Cardona, but you took a brave pick. I'm proud of you for picking Ausburger.
I walked so you can run.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for that. I was wrong on the women's side. I had Triay and Brea. Well, they lost as we saw in the semis. Haroon, you had Bea and Claudia, who just came up just short in the final. Where we were right, Yousef, the mini victory lap because we both picked Coello Tapia.
Yep.
It's not going out much on an edge there, but we did predict it.
Yep.
And you predicted Ari and Paula. So congrats to you on those picks. Well done. And good news is we have another chance to get right back in it with Bordeaux, and we can correct our misgivings.
Yes, sir. Back to the who you gots for the Bordeaux P2. Ismaeel on the women's side. Who takes home the Bordeaux P2 tournament?
Well, I have to pick between this triangle of Ari and Paula or Geometry and Brea, and Delphi. I don't know where to go, but you know what? I'm going to go with Geometry and Delphi. I'm going to back them up here.
Delphi's injured, though. Is she going to play? You sure you want to go with that one?
I'm going with...
It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
She might not play. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be tough, but...
You're going to go with them?
I'm going to pick Gemma unless Delphi doesn't... Can I pick a backup team if she doesn't
Fine,
play?
Pick a backup team.
My backup
outside
team,
of the top three.
outside of the top three. That's a guaranteed loss.
Okay?
Guaranteed loss.
Then it's unfair.
It's guaranteed.
It's unfair.
It's guaranteed.
You can't take two of the top three teams.
Well, if one of them's going to be out, what am I supposed to do? I should be
Make a
allowed.
pick.
I should be allowed the backup team if she's injured. But if Delphi's going to play, I'm taking Gemma. If she's not, I'm going to go with the world number ones, Ari and Pablo.
Okay. Well, Haroon, how about you?
I love to make some interesting picks here, man. But this is first of all, this is indoors, and this is like they just came off a tournament. It's tough. I'm going for the world number ones. I think they're gonna be it's gonna be super easy for them.
Okay. I'm going with revenge. Bea and Claudia get over the hump again and win this tournament.
Wow. I mean, that would be fun to see, but we just saw Ari and Pablo keep dominating them, man.
Yeah. Well, on the men's side, everyone is there. Ismaeel, quick turnover. Bordeaux P2, who wins it on the men's side?
You know what? I really liked what I saw from this team in this tournament. I really liked Haroon. Your boys, Stupa Lebrón. I like what I see. They figured out something against Chingalan. Lebrón knows what the matchup against Galan and Chingoto now. The better matchup against Coello Tapia. I'm hesitant about the injury. You know, he was complaining in that final. But you know what? I'm going with Stupa Lebrón here. I like this pick. I'm liking what they look like.
Haroon, how about you?
I'm struggling between this one because I want to go, I go for the world number ones to take this one out because especially they look like they have a very easy draw coming up. Nobody's going to give them any fits except Lebrón and Stupa potentially in the semis. Okay, I'm going for Coello Tapia. I'm going for Coello Tapia on this one. I think this is a very easy pick. Although I wouldn't sleep on Carburger indoors. They're getting AC on. And it looks like it's going to be lights out, but they're going to face Chingalan in their way. But I'm going for Coello Tapia on this one.
Man, I hope Ausburger.
I'm going with a team that you guys seem to forget that they are the current and the latest major champions. Chingalan are going to find their form again. It was a 7-6 loss in the final set. You guys make me feel like this was a dominant win. No, it wasn't. Chingalan indoors. Chingoto going to find his best form again. Masterclass performance coming. Chingalan win it in
This
Bordeaux.
is indoors, huh? This is indoors. This is Smash City all day, baby.
No, indoors does not mean smash. Indoors actually means slower surfaces, and it means that you can precise lobs.
But it means also no wind, so you can smash better.
It does. But I would not say like, oh, the indoor conditions do not favor. But higher lobs do not.
How about this?
Still going Chingalan.
I changed my pick. I think Ausburger and Cardona are going to be able to beat Chingalan. Chingalan looks like I feel like, yeah, now that you remind me of that match, they look like they're not in the zone. Galan maybe now in his mind. I think that Ausburger and Cardona are going to be able to lift this title. I'm back. I'm double downing on my Ausburger.
He's doubling down on Carburger, which I love, Haroon. I'm very proud of you for coming on board of this train. I am, and this is lovely to see. I love to see that you made this pick. I doubt it though, because Chingalan looks awesome, but it's going to be fun to see.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be very fun. Well, this was awesome. You let us know what you think about our picks and takes in the comments. And go check out our interview with Coach Nacho Porto. He had a lot of cool insights about Padel, about what's like playing on different surfaces and what makes elite players. Check it out, and you're going to find us here every week. We'll see you here after the Bordeaux final. And subscribe so you can get all your Padel news. See you next time.
¡Vamos, vamos, vamos!